Ned listened to the silence a moment, then to the distant life of the Red Keep, the scrape of boots, the faint laughter of some courtly fool, the restless birds on the rooftops. Somewhere beyond stone and sky, his daughters slept in a city that was not theirs. Pycelle was Cersei's creature. Everyone knew it. The Grand Maester's very beard belonged to the Queen, braided and perfumed for her convenience. Let him carry tales. Let him whisper that Eddard Stark was weak, or stubborn, or dying. Ned did not care. He cared that weakness had a way of inviting knives. The servant brought the honeyed wine. It was thick and sweet, clinging to the cup, tasting of summer fields. Ned drank sparingly. Warmth spread through him, not the dull fog of the poppy, but a gentle loosening, enough to let him breathe, enough to think. Think, he told himself. That was all that mattered now. A child's eyes, he thought, can see what grown men refuse. Sansa had spoken of Joffrey's hair once, of how golden it was in the sun, how bright as a lion's mane. Innocent pride, a girl's delight in a prince. Yet it had turned the lock in Ned's mind. Gold, always gold, not the black of Baratheon seed. Someday he would have to tell her, not of bastardy and bed sins, not in those words, but that her small, thoughtless wonder had saved lives, or might yet. Someday. He set the cup aside and reached for the book again. The Lineages and Histories of the Great Houses of the Seven Kingdoms. Heavy as duty, dusty as truth. Jon Arryn had died with its pages beneath his fingers. The seed is strong. Words like a prayer or a warning. Ned's leg throbbed, as if the pain itself meant to remind him, you are trapped. You cannot ride. You cannot run. He heard steps in the corridor, light, certain, unhurried. Not a guard. A man who walked as if the castle belonged to him. Peter Baelish came in, smiling. Lord Hand, Littlefinger said, bright as a polished coin. How good it is to find you awake. I feared Pycelle had poured you full of poppy and prayers. He brought poppy, Ned said. I kept the prayers. Littlefinger's eyes flicked to the open book. And you keep company with old dead lords besides. Is that volume your sleeping potion, then? It is my waking one, Ned said. Peter laughed softly, as if they shared a jest. Varys has heard whispers. Sellswords, my lord. Men with broken helms and hungry bellies. They are said to be flocking to Casterly Rock. Ned felt the room narrow around that. How many? Enough that the rock has grown crowded, if whispers can be believed. Littlefinger lifted one shoulder in his delicate shrug. Whispers are birds. They fly where they will. And Robert? Ned asked. Has he returned? Not yet. Peter's smile turned sly. They found the White Hart, you know. Ned had heard. A pale stag, rare as honor in this city. Dead, he said. Dead, Littlefinger agreed, almost pleased by it. So the king has turned his attention to a fiercer quarry. A boar, they say, large enough to gut a man. Most of the party had returned, Peter told him. Prince Joffrey, sulking, the Hound, sour as ever, lords and lads with mud on their boots and wine on their breath. The king remained in the woods with his chosen companions, chasing slaughter as if it were sport. I would have liked to see Sandor Clegane's face, Littlefinger said, when he learned that Beric Dondarrion rides to hunt the brother he hates. Ned watched him as one watched a snake, admiring the colour, counting the coils. You take pleasure in cruelties you do not suffer, he said. Oh, I suffer, Peter replied lightly. I suffer boredom. I suffer other men's stupidity. I suffer the weight of coins when my purse grows too full. He moved toward the door, as if the conversation were already finished. I have a dinner to attend. Her Grace grows hungry for allies when her father is angry. Littlefinger paused at the threshold, glanced again at the book. Do try not to read yourself to sleep, my lord. The pages might smother you. Then he was gone, leaving behind only the faint scent of some expensive spice and the sharper stink of his mockery. Shut. Ned found his hands clenched. His leg hurt. His heart hurt worse. Outside of his own retainers, what was left of them, there was not a man in King's Landing he trusted. Littlefinger smiled while sharpening knives. Varys knew everything and did nothing that would be counted on. Pycelle served the Queen with all the loyalty of a lapdog. Sir Barristan. Barristan was true, perhaps, but truer to his vows than to sense, and age had made him rigid as old ice. Even Robert. Robert was a storm that might break on any shore. In the north, men spoke of a king's word as law. Here, words were wind. Arya and Sansa would sail in 3 days. Ned had arranged it with a hand that trembled from pain and urgency. 3 days. A small mercy. If he could get them out of the city, he might yet bear what came. Honor would require him to go to Robert with all he knew when the king returned. Honor. Ned tasted the word and found it bitter. Last night, fever and wine had dragged him back 14 years. Tywin Lannister had come to Robert in the throne room with gifts. 2 small bodies wrapped in crimson cloaks. Rhaegar's children. 1 girl, 1 boy. Dead as winter. Ned remembered how the blood had dried black at the corners of their mouths, how Robert had looked at them, and for a heartbeat had been only a man staring at the cost of his crown, and then had turned away and called it justice. Robert could be merciful, Ned reminded himself, if a man was brave and honest. He had pardoned Barristan. He had pardoned Varys and Pycelle. He had pardoned Balon Greyjoy, even after rebellion. He had even lifted Littlefinger up like a clever hound and set him at the treasury's heel. But poison in the dark, treachery behind smiles, Robert would never forgive. He would kill them all and laugh as if killing could make him clean. Bran must have learned some part of the truth. Otherwise, why send an assassin? Why send a knife? Ned closed the book and pressed his palm to its cover, as if he could press the truth back down. I must save the children, he told himself. Theirs. Mine. All of them. Called for Fat Tom. The guardsman entered with a cautious respect, big as a butcher and twice as wary. He had been one of Jory's men once. Now he wore command like a burden. My lord? Tom asked. Help me up, Ned said. Tom hesitated only a moment before moving in. Together they managed the slow, humiliating business of standing. Fire lanced through Ned's leg. He bit it back, refusing the groan that wanted to escape him. I want the Godswood, he said when he could speak. In the dark, Tom's brow furrowed. The Queen's men are everywhere, Ned finished. That is why. He gripped Tom's arm, steadied himself. Double the guard. I know we are thin. Double it all the same. Tom's eyes flickered, calculating. Aye. And find the Queen, Ned said. Give her this. He held out a short letter, plain and direct. Meet me in the Godswood at nightfall. No threats, no accusations. An invitation. A door left open. Tom took it as if it were a hot coal. If she comes with swords, she will not, Ned said, though he was not certain. He could not afford certainty.
He could only choose. Tom left, and Ned was carried, half walked, half dragged, through corridors that smelled of stone and smoke. The Red Keep did not love him. He felt it in every stare, every murmur, every half-bowed head. When they reached the Godswood, the air changed. The city's stink faded. Leaves whispered. The pool lay dark and still, reflecting the first bruised colours of evening. The heart tree waited. White bark, red leaves like 1,000 bleeding hands. The carved face stared down, solemn and strange. Ned sat beneath it, and for a moment the throbbing in his leg eased. Or perhaps the old gods simply took some of it away, the way a father takes a child's fear in the night. Here, at least, he could breathe. Here, at least, the truth did not feel like a lie.
Night fell in slow steps. The sky turned to ash, then to ink. Torches bloomed along the distant walls, but the Godswood kept its own darkness, gentle as a cloak. When Cersei came, she came alone. She wore green that caught the torchlight and made it seem she had wrapped herself in fireflies. Her hair was a pale crown. On her cheek, a bruise flowered purple and yellow, fresh, deliberate, displayed as if it were jewelry. Ned rose with Tom's help and bowed stiffly. "Your Grace." "My Lord Hand," Cersei said. Her eyes went to his leg, and her mouth curved. "How does it feel to be broken?" "It feels like healing," Ned said. "Grand Maester Pycelle assures me pain is a good sign." "Pycelle assures everyone of whatever they wish to hear." She moved closer, the bruise plain to see. "You asked me here for talk of bones?" "For talk of bastards," Ned said. Her laugh was soft. "Is that what this is? A riddle beneath your trees? Or have you brought me here to kidnap me?" "If you believed that," Ned said, "you would not have come." Cersei's gaze sharpened. The bruise drew his eye again, and he hated himself for it. "Did Robert do that?" he asked. Her hand lifted, almost touching the mark, then fell. "Never on the face before." Her voice was flat. "If Jaime knew." "Your brother," Ned said. Cersei did not bother to deny it. Her smile turned strange, proud and cruel. "My brother," she agreed, "and my lover, since we were children. When he is in me, I am whole." The words were a slap, and yet there was truth in them, raw and shameless. Ned's stomach tightened. "My son, Bran," he said. "He saw you." "He saw us." No remorse, only iron. "And I love my children. Would you have me let them be torn from me?" "You tried to murder a child," Ned said. "I tried to save mine," she answered, as if it were the same thing. Ned held her gaze. "And all three are Jaime's." For a heartbeat, the Godswood went very still, as if even the leaves wished to hear her answer. Cersei's eyes did not flicker. "Is that what your dusty book told you?" "It told Jon Arryn," Ned said. "It killed him." He drew a slow breath, felt the heart tree's carved eyes upon him. "Baratheon and Lannister. 90 years ago, Tyre Lannister wed Gawain Baratheon. Their child was black of hair. 30 years before that, a Lannister took a Baratheon maid. Black-haired children awe. The seed is strong." Cersei watched him like a cat watches a mouse, amused, assessing. "And yet Robert has golden lions for heirs." "How is it possible," Ned asked, "that you never had a child by the king?"
For the first time, something like anger flashed. "I almost did." Her voice sharpened. "Once. I ended it." Ned felt cold spread through him. "You aborted the king's child." "It was not a child," she said, and her mouth twisted. "It was Robert's. That was enough." She stepped closer, so near he could smell wine on her breath and something bitter beneath the perfume. "I cannot stand to have him inside me. Not for years. I give him what he wants in other ways, when he crawls from his whores long enough. He is always drunk. He never remembers." "What made you hate him so much?" Ned asked, though he already knew there would be no answer he could bear. Cersei's smile went thin. "On our wedding night, he called me Lyanna." The name struck like a hammer. Lyanna, dead and blooming forever in Robert's grief. Ned's throat tightened. "I do not know which of you to pity more," he said softly. "But pity does not change my duty." "Duty," Cersei echoed, and there was contempt in it. She reached out, fingers brushing his sleeve, then his chest, bold as any lover's touch. "The realm needs a strong hand. Be kind to me, Lord Stark. You will never regret it." Ned stepped back as far as his leg allowed. "Did you make the same offer to Jon Arryn?" Her hand snapped up, hard. The slap rang in the dark. Cersei's eyes blazed. "And you call me shameless? What of your bastard, Lord Eddard? Jon Snow? How many other debaucheries hide beneath your honor?" Ned's face went hard as stone. "Leave King's Landing," he said. "Tonight, if you can. Take your children. Take Jaime. Take your father, if he will come. Sail for the free cities. Robert will kill you all when he knows." "Cersei, you are a fool. You should have taken the throne 14 years ago." "I've made more mistakes than you can imagine," Ned said. "That was not one." Her smile sharpened into a blade. "When you play the Game of Thrones," Cersei whispered, "you win or you die. There is no middle ground." And in the red leaves above them, the wind sounded almost like laughter.